Jimmy, it's the playoffs. It feels like it's a whole different sport almost. But does actually anything really change?
No, not really. Not really. You've got to carry on. If things are working, you carry on. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. The systems we've been playing are working, and the lads are fit. They're fresh. So no, nothing changes really. It's 2 games of football against a very good side that's been up at the top of the league all season. But we've shown that we can cope with teams like that. We're a good side too. So no, nothing changes.
And Newport, a side who Forest Green have beaten this season back in February. Do you take any confidence from that, or is that something that is so far in the past now? Football changes so quickly that you don't really look at it.
Yeah, well, I don't really look at that because this league is so unpredictable. So what we've done in the past doesn't really matter. It's not about that, and it's a unique sort of situation too. So no, it's 2 games that are unique, one-off sort of circumstance. So past is the past. You're only as good as your next game.
And you're going into this on some really good form, which is obviously, as history would tell us, a fantastic way to approach the playoffs. But Newport are too. Yeah,
you can't just say that's going to get us through because they're in good form. Morecambe are in good form. So the playoffs. Yes, history says that you come into them in form and you sort of bounce through them and get yourself to Wembley. But both teams are in form, so it should be a cracking game. Looking forward to it.
And when you've got a game over 2 legs, like obviously the playoff semi-finals are, do you approach it differently to if you were taking on sort of 2 separate oppositions or just 2 regular league games?
I don't think you do, because you're trying to win every game anyway. You never send a team out to draw or get beat. So you're trying to win games of football. And so these 2 games are no different. If we win both, we're going to Wembley. So no, you don't try and be cagey and have thingy. You just go and play. Especially when you're in form and you're doing well and your players are confident. Just go and play and try and win both games of football.
And I suppose after that first one, it does become a bit more of a mental chess game between the 2 managers, doesn't it? But leg 1, you're going out there and just leaving it all on the pitch to give yourself the best possible advantage in the second leg.
You are. I imagine it's going to be a bit cagey early on because, players, the normal thing would be to sort of feel the other team out and make no mistakes and sort of be a bit afraid of making mistakes when, you can't, as a manager, you can't really control it. You can't control people's emotions. You can help them and give them confidence and stuff, but they've got to control their own emotions. They've got to be strong, be brave, be unafraid of making mistakes and go and play. They're good players.
And that was a bit of a similar situation, wasn't it, to Oldham on final day? I mean, the first half, obviously, you knew what you were playing for. It was almost a playoff game in the sense that you had to win. There were that nerves, but in the second half, when the first goal went in and the nerves left, I mean, that was probably the most I've ever enjoyed a half an hour standing in the rain.
Yeah, obviously, if you do string a few passes together earlier on, that kind of has the same effect. But they made it quite hard for us, Oldham. They changed a little bit from what they'd done previously. So then we didn't find our gaps. We didn't find the spaces we needed to. So we had to adapt a little bit. And once we changed the shape, it was about 10, 12 minutes before half time. That's when I saw the confidence come because the gaps were there, the spaces were there, the runners were able to run through lines, and then all of a sudden it built from about 35 minutes into the game. I think the change of shape really brought the confidence.
And I think there were moments after that switch that you were thinking, if you play like this, you will beat anyone.
Yeah, they played very well. I think if they play like they played against Crawley, they'd beat anyone. Even though that was 0-0, they play like they played first half against Exeter, they beat anyone. I truly believe that. Second half against Tranmere, we beat anyone. And they've got it in them, and they're a really good side and a great group of lads. And they've just got to control the situation. If they do, I fancy us.
And very defensively sound of late as well as potent in front of goal. So that's something that I suppose you can take real faith from.
It's important. Yeah, it's massively important. Yeah, it's if you don't concede many, it takes the pressure off your front men, gives them a bit more freedom. They can relax because they'll back their defensive unit, and then the defensive unit in turn back the attacking unit and say if we keep clean sheets, they'll go and win the games for us. That's what football's about. So it does help, and they've been fantastic. Can't fault the defensive unit from goalkeeper all the way up through. Can't fault them over the last 6 games.
And do you think that is the sort of situation that a player like Aaron Collins will thrive in? Obviously, of late, we've seen of the last few games he's been scoring the goals, but he's been almost unplayable other than that final touch over the last month.
Yeah, he's a talented boy. He's got ability. I didn't see him getting down. I didn't see his chin going on his chest. He kept going, which is great, and that's what you need to do. And sometimes the ball doesn't fall the right side of the post, but we knew it would. I think he believed it would. He got the support from his teammates. He got the belief from us, and it was only a matter of time. So he's done very well. But you've got players making the goals for him. You've got people making runs for him to get into spaces, passing the ball, being brave to play the ball through lines for him to get onto it. And I think as a group they're coming together. They're starting to gel really, really well. And
how much are you looking forward to the return of fans? I mean, it made such a difference in the FA Cup final just yesterday, and even though in the away leg it's only going to be Newport fans, I think even that just gives a little bit of lift to the whole game, doesn't it?
Of course it does. It's entertainment. That's what it's for. People, we need fans in the stadiums as quickly as possible, because that's the whole thing about being a footballer. No one has enjoyed playing in empty stadiums, not a single person. So really, really looking forward to it. I'm glad we could continue the season for our fans so that they can come into the ground and cheer their team on, and hopefully see us achieve something wonderful.
And just how much are you looking forward to your team heading out with you at the front, in front of the Forest Green fans for the first time?
Massively, because like I said, that's what football's all about. It's about fans. Without them, there's no football. And I think you've seen that this year. I think this has been the least I've watched football on the television, because it doesn't feel right. So let's get people in, and they'll have to go through those emotions with us and the roller coaster ride that is a game of football. And and I'm sure there'll be moments where they're flipping screaming at us, and then the next minute they'll be in love with us, and that's football. That's the ups and downs of being a football fan, and the wonderful part of it is drama, and we don't want any drama, but I'm sure we can put on a show.
Fantastic stuff, Jimmy. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
All the best.
Cheers, pal.